Hey, everybody, welcome back. And we've got another great show today. So here's the thing. Look, we have real estate sales that are down 30.6% and inventory levels, well, they're heading in a downward trend also. Why is this happening? What the heck is going on? What does this mean for our current real estate market? Well, we're going to go over that. But before we do that, hey, let's go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Hey, listen, there's no marketing here. This is just all real-time information for you. We're going to go through what is going on in real time in our market. That's going to be super critical because as you're going through and deciding, is this the best time to sell? Is this the best time to purchase? Well, you're going to get that, not on a national level, not what some of the other folks are reporting with their doom and gloomers, but actual real-time information. So remember, smash that subscribe button. Let us know that you like it. Continue to ask questions. We had some really good questions last week, a couple of public ones, which were interesting and fun to engage with. But anyway, keep sending us your questions. We love questions. And we normally get back to you within about 30 minutes. So with that, hey, let's get the show on the road. And let's talk about what the heck is going on, right? When we take a look at the market watch, we take a look at the 7-day running average, right? Let's blow that up for you. Look, we have new listings, 1,121. We had 1,356 go off market. Again, we still have more homes going pended than we do coming on market. That is super important to understand because again, minus 1 week, this has been the trend since the middle of October of 2022. So that means that we still have a pent-up buyer demand. And that is an absolute 100% fact. In fact, just as last week, when we were presenting a number of offers on behalf of our clients, all but one of the homes had multiple offers. All of them, but one. And that's impressive. You might say, well, George, how many is that? Well, that's about 10. So when you consider the fact that we are running through and then getting offers on homes and we are competing against multiple offers, how can our market be doing so bad if we still have buyers looking for inventory, which is what we will get to the next part. As you can see, we also had some sellers that in the green there that actually, well, they kind of missed the market. And that is a very clear message to sellers. Pay attention. If you overprice your home will not sell. For those, we still hear, and it's still surprising, we still hear this message sometimes, I'm gonna push price. And, the buyers, they'll come in, they'll make an offer, but they'll make it, at where they feel it is. No, they won't. They will let it sit on market. Why? Because they're super smart. They know that there are still homes with multiple offers, and they will sit back and wait until you come down to where they want to be. Problem with doing that is it takes money out of your back pocket. Why? Because if your home sells in the first 7 days, you're going to get between 100 and 107% of list price. If you miss that mark, you go out to 20 days. Heck, you're only going to see 98, maybe 96% of list price. Well, right there alone, you've lost up to 4%. Plus, you are now giving concessions to a buyer, if you're the seller, than if you are on the other side. Now, if you're a buyer, you should be looking at the 20 to 40 day mark. Why? Because at 40 days, you're only going to look at 92, 93% of list price. So yesterday, when we were doing a video for some of our clients saying, hey, here are some homes to target. Look, they've been on the market 39, 45 days. Here's where they should be at. And that brings it right back into their price point. And is it real? Absolutely, it's real. So sellers, price your home correctly. Do not become a statistic, or you start pulling dollars out of your back pocket and you give up concessions. That's not what you want to do. Now, if you're representing buyers, or if you're a buyer out there, it's exactly what you want them to do, because then there's less competition for you. Keep that in mind. All right, moving on. Look at that, 918 solds. Remember, that's still looking in the rearview mirror. We are still seeing that activity still continue in a positive direction. We are still doing super well. Now, when we say, well, George, what does that mean, super well? When we take a look at our chart, and thank you to our friends at Trend Graphics, that is not an advertisement. I pay for that service so we can get better real-time information for you guys to make a really good decision. Let's take a look at this chart. Super important chart here. Now, you can see where we got our number at 30.6% less sales because we are 12,000. 12,000 homes less sales than where we were, we're year over year. That's a big number. And you might say, oh my gosh, George, that's horrible. Well, for heaven's sakes, it's actually kind of expected when you take a look at our inventory is super low compared to where we should be. We should be roughly about 18,000, 19, 22,000 homes historically. Even last year, we only had 11,000 at this time. And I'm going to show you a chart here, which even shows you we were even in the 13,000 home inventory level. And this is all across Washington State. Well, half of Washington State, a little more than half, 3/4 of Washington State. That is a small number of homes to have available. All right. So you can also see that our market time, right, actually has gone up. Let me blow that back up for you. So you can see that last year at this time, we were at 14 average days on market. Now we're at 41 days on market. And that is a big jump. Why? Interest rates, fewer homes on market, and then some buyers, well, just not quite, or not some buyers, some sellers just not quite getting the gist that you need to actually price your property at a price where buyers are going to take it. So remember, Jeff Kirky on our team, super smart guy. He says, listen, we are price takers as a seller, and buyers are your price makers. Keep that in mind as you are going through and deciding as a seller what you're going to do. Remember, it is the buyers that create the value, that create the price. You get to be the price taker. You get to accept what a buyer is willing to offer. Now, sometimes that matches your preconceived notion of what your home is, and including your sentimental equity, which, understand, sentimental equity has zero value. What is sentimental equity? Sentimental equity is the value that you put on a property above what market value, what the buyers say it is. Just because you raised your family there, you did what you think were some great improvements because you think that your home is better than the neighbor's house, that does not matter at all. Remember that. That's sentimental equity. Doesn't matter. What matters is what somebody in arm's length, I guess this way, arm's length transaction is where an individual buyer or buyers are willing to pay for a certain product. There you go. That is it. Not what you think it might be worth. And listen, if you want that value, you will get it. I promise you, sellers, you will get the value that you really think sentimental equity-wise, you will get it. It just takes time. Time heals all wounds, right? It might take you a few more years to get there, but that's okay. If that's the price you want, just remember, don't keep escalating the value of your sentimental equity down the road because it will carry, again, zero value. Keep that in mind. All right, moving on. I shall get off my soapbox. Now, as we take a look at our next slide here, we take a look at, and I said that we were going to show you what happened last year. So look at July. And you can see July inventory was 13,806. August inventory, 13,143. And then September, 13,354 versus where we're at today, which is around 9,000. Yeah, last year at this time was around 11,000. Okay. Well, just understand, we keep dropping down. Why does that happen? You're like, George, what the heck? What's going on? We're going to get to that. Be patient. Understand. Let's go through some of the metrics and to show you our market is still very healthy, very vibrant, very competitive. And for those sellers that price correctly, they're seeing the benefit of what competitive really is. You're not seeing crazy escalations. Still seeing some great values out there. Okay. Moving on. When we take a look at new construction, here's what's super cool about this, right? So new construction, you can see that we're only off 382 homes. Okay, so, roughly about 8.4%. 382 homes. But look at that. We are 1,200 homes as far as pended where we were at year over year. So we are catching up. We are going to basically pass where we were as far as solds last year. Even though if you take a look at this, new construction historically is only about 10% of the overall inventory that's available. We're at 19%. We had actually reached a 32% about a month ago or so. And as far as total inventory available, we keep drawing that down. You can see just year over year. Take a look at the same month, year over year. Look, we were in the 70 percentile as far as more homes pended than where they're at, where they're at today versus year over year for the same month. That is showing you that we are still seeing a massive buyer demand. Why? Builders are still giving concessions. They're still giving good pricing, but because there's such a limited inventory, again, we'll get to that, they are becoming a major shift in that market. That's going to be super important. That's why we're starting to see a lot more builders opening up more homes instead of onesies and twosies. We're seeing, 3 and 4 opening up at one time. One plat, like we discussed last week, there was 15. 13 of them went under contract within a couple of days. Gone, right? Understand, the market is still there. So if you're a seller on the fence, now's still a great time to consider the market because well-priced homes are still selling within 7 days. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at our REO side of things, right? Look, we have 59, and funny enough, we actually emailed 12 people today that show as a, hey, we are an REO. This is a bank-owned home. 12. This goes on the wall of shame. 12 agents we had to call and say, hey, listen, is your home really bank-owned? Because it looks like it's seller-owned. They're like, oh, no, I made a mistake. Some of these have been on for 10, 15 days. That is going to have a negative impact on their seller, unfortunately. Get it straight. That goes on the wall of shame. Anyway, you need to take 12 off of that. So if we have 59, there's actually only 47 homes that are bank-owned. And that really changes those numbers. So anyway, and that's only the first, 30 that we went through. So anyway, were there more? Possibly. Key is banks are getting market value for their homes right now, hands down, okay? They're doing paint, carpet, and vinyl, getting it on the market, getting great values. Some of them are overpriced. Some of them are just have crazy restrictions, like you have to buy it sight unseen, can't see it, and they want market value. Plus, you get to evict the tenant. People aren't going to do that. And it's pretty clear because they're still on the market until they make that change. I've never seen a bank do it. Well, that's an East Coast bank. I don't know what they're thinking. But anyway, nonetheless, they don't have to worry about it, and neither do you. Understand, the REO market is super low, and I'm sure that all of the credit unions are giving the golf clap to that one. And if you do work with the credit union, they absolutely take great care of you. In fact, they just had a collectors association meeting. Heard it was absolutely fabulous. I didn't get a chance to go to this one. So hats off to everybody. And in the meantime, I'll catch those guys on a different day. Moving on. Mortgage rates. Mortgage rates right now, as we know, actually has the biggest impact on real estate. And remember, mortgage rates are not controlled by the Fed. Okay? Understand that. They're not controlled by the Fed. The Feds can impact mortgage rates. But remember, they are publicly traded. And as you can see here, all of them actually dropped down just a tiny little bit, minus the jumbos bumped up just a tiny little bit, but still doing pretty competitive. And when we talk about mortgage rates having the biggest impact, I said that we were going to talk about why do we have an issue with inventory. So Realtor.com, they did a recent study right here. They brought out their crystal ball polish, right? Let's blow this up. So when we take a look at this, the chief economist, Danielle Hale with the Realtor.com says, hey, listen, predictions for a less onerous mortgage rate level and fewer home sales. They're predicting about 6.4%, actually kind of sliding down to about 6.1 by year's end. And I tend to agree with that as we start to see some of this change. Now, high inflation, here's the important part, right? High inflation and the Fed actions to curb it have had a significant impact on the housing market this year. And while inflation has begun to ease, the sustained spike in mortgage rates was enough to stifle the housing market after several years of low rate and activity. The vast majority of home sellers locked into a lower rate during the pandemic, which are not particularly excited to give them up in order to buy a new home. No kidding. Nobody wants to give up their 3% mortgage for a 6.5%, 7% mortgage right now. That's just common sense. If you don't have to make the move, why would you? Well, they're not. They're holding back. Not all sellers, but many of them. And many of them have different reasons. A relocation, they just need a bigger home. They're going to move up to their next home, whatever it might be. There's still that opportunity, and it's the key reason why we are not seeing a lot of inventory out there. Mortgage rates, are they coming down? Sure, like the comments placed last week. Look, we are predicting, like a lot of other folks, rates will come down into the low sixes by the end of this year, Q4-ish, fourth quarter. 2024, we're actually expecting them to dip into the fives, maybe mid fives. Do I think they're going to get super low after that? No. Will they, if they click into the fives, will the pent-up buyer demand absolutely come out in full force? The answer is yes, they will, and including refinances. It's going to be mayhem and bedlam, and we'll continue to draw down that inventory. We're about 1.5 months, 1.3 months of inventory right now. Should be about 4 to 6 months. Yeah, in the last 10 years, we haven't been over 2.5 months. So there you go. Anyway, with that being said, you know what this means. Smash that subscribe button. Tell us that you like it. Share your questions. Make sure that you're sharing this video with people that you like and that they can make a great business decision. Look, the algorithm, when you do that, just helps to let others know about this. As you can see, there's no selling. Hopefully you found this valuable. Again, share your comments. And in the meantime, I'll see you on the next video, which the next video, we are doing the update 5 questions you should ask when getting quoted mortgage rates. That is next. Hang on. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.